Here's where most moms get stuck. Raising your standards isn't about being strict. It's about being intentional. It's about deciding what kind of adult you're actually trying to raise and then aligning your behavior with that outcome. Because kids don't grow into strong adults by accident. They grow into whatever the environment trains them to be. And the environment is built on what you allow, what you enforce, and what you walk past because you're tired. That's why this starts with you. Before you try to fix anything with your kids, you have to get honest with your own standards. Where have you been letting things slide because it's easier in the moment? Disrespect, excuses, half effort, emotional, pushback. If you don't believe in the standard deeply, you won't hold it when it gets uncomfortable. And kids can feel that hesitation immediately. Here's the part most people don't understand. Clear standards actually make kids feel safer. When expectations don't change based on your mood, kids don't have to guess. They may not like the boundary, but they trust the structure, and trust reduces chaos. Now, this is important. Standards are not the same as rules. Rules are external. Standards become internal. Rules say, because I said so. Standards say, this is who we are in this house. That's why you have to decide the outcome first. Ask yourself, am I raising someone who can take responsibility without reminders? Someone who can handle discomfort? Someone who can hear no without falling apart? Because if you don't know what you're aiming for, you'll parent emotionally instead of strategically. You'll solve today's problem while creating tomorrow's. A simple shift that changes everything is asking yourself, am I handling this for today or for 5 years from now? That question will immediately raise your standards. And let's talk about love versus leniency, because this is where moms struggle. You can love your child deeply and still hold a firm boundary. Love doesn't require over-explaining. In fact, the more you explain, the more you signal doubt, and kids are wired to negotiate doubt. Sometimes the strongest thing you can say is I love you, but the answer is still no. No speech, no defense, just calm certainty. If you want high standards, you also have to make expectations painfully clear. Most kids aren't defiant, they're unclear. Saying be respectful or do better means nothing if you haven't defined what that looks like. Respect means no eye rolling, no interrupting, calm tone. Responsibility means setting alarms, packing your bag, following through. Effort means finishing the task, not rushing it. Clarify removes arguments. There's nothing to debate when the standard is specific. And when you enforce it, remove emotion. Emotion turns standards into negotiations. If your enforcement depends on how tired or frustrated you are, kids will read you before they listen to you. Short phrases work because they don't invite discussion. That doesn't meet the standard. Try again. We'll talk after you reset. Then follow through calmly every time. Now, don't raise the bar all at once and don't raise it out of frustration. Pick one behavior, one expectation, and hold it consistently, even on your worst day, especially on your worst day. Consistency builds internal regulation. Inconsistency teaches kids how to wait you out. And yes, there will be discomfort. When you raise standards, behavior often gets worse before it gets better. That's not failure, that's resistance. Eye rolling, arguing, big emotions, none of that is danger. Discomfort is not harm. Frustration is not trauma. Your calm while they're uncomfortable is what teaches them how to regulate themselves later. You don't need to fix their feelings, you need to hold the line. Another hard truth, stop rescuing so fast. If the situation is safe, let them struggle, forgetting homework, managing time poorly, dealing with consequences. This is how competence is built. When you step in too quickly, what they learn is, I don't need to figure this out. Mom's got it. Natural consequences work because they don't lecture and they don't shame. They connect action to outcome, and then the lesson sticks. Build standards into routines so you are not constantly reminding. If you rely on reminders, you don't have standards. You have supervision. Routines remove power struggles and reduce decision fatigue for everyone. And don't overlook this part. Your kids are watching you closely. If you apologize for boundaries, tolerate disrespect, or don't follow through on your own commitments, they silently downgrade the standard. Your life is the lesson, not your words. Let them see you say no. Let them see you correct yourself. Let them see you take responsibility without excuses. Also, high standards don't mean punishing imperfection. Reward effort, not just outcomes. Call out persistence, ownership, recovery. That's how you build internal motivation instead of approval seeking. And on the days you're exhausted, protect the standard anyway, not perfectly, just consistently. Even saying, this still needs to be done. We're just keeping it simple tonight. Keeps the bar intact. Here's the part no one talks about. High standards actually reduce conflict over time. Once kids trust that you mean what you say, they stop testing constantly. The house gets calmer, the relationship improves. So here's the bottom line. Lowering standards feels easier today. Raising them feels uncomfortable now. But one creates capable adults. The other creates problems you'll still be managing years from now. You're not here to be liked every moment. You're here to raise adults who can handle life. Set the bar high, teach it clearly, enforce it calmly, and don't apologize for it. That's not harsh. That's responsible. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next video.